Hi students, this is A. Mandari Kumar Rajesh. In this video, we are going to discuss the topic called types of mutations and its basis of classification, on which basis the mutations are classified. Let me teach you the types of mutation and which basis the mutations are classified. Here, I have drawn a tabular column with the headings: basis of classification, major types of mutation, major features. Let me tell you one by one. Origin. So the first basis of classification is origin. In origin we have two types of mutation. They are spontaneous and induced. Spontaneous means the mutation can occur naturally in the absence of known mutagen. In the absence of known mutagen, that means we cannot identify the mutagen which causes the mutation. So in spontaneous mutation, that mutation occur naturally and we are not able to identify the mutagen. Then the second one is induced mutation. Induced mutation means artificially we are induced that mutation. So induced mutation, otherwise called as artificial mutation. So we can expose the organism to the mutagen and results in the mutation. So induced mutation is otherwise called as artificial mutation, occurs in the presence of known mutagen. That means we can identify the agent which cause mutation. Then the second one, cell type. In which type of cell mutation takes place or occurs? So first one is somatic cell. Somatic cells means the mutation occurs in the body cells. So occurs in the non-reproductive cells. That means apart from the reproductive cells, the mutation takes place. So somatic cells means the mutation occurs in the body cells. Then the second one is germline cells. Germline cells means the mutation occurs in the gametes. Or reproductive cells. So the mutation occurs in the reproductive cells. Then the third type is effect on function. So the mutation can affect the function of that organism or alleles. The mutation affect the function of organism or the allele. So here we have four types of effects. In first one, loss of function. For example, an organism contains the dominant allele, that is the wild type. If mutation occurs in that wild type, it loses their function. That condition is called as knockout or null. So due to that mutation, it loses their originality, it loses their function, and that condition is called as knockout or null. Eliminates the normal function. Then the second one is hypomorphic. Hypo means below or low. Morphic, it reduces the normal function. So if that mutation takes place in wild type, the wild type has to express aggressively, but this mutation reduces their normal function. Then the third one is hypermorphic. Hyper means increased, high. So hypermorphic means increases normal function. So they express their character more aggressively than the normal time. So if the mutation occurs in the wild type, it expresses their character more vigorously or more aggressively. So increases normal function. Then the fourth one is gain of function. It gets a function, and that function expressed in inappropriate cell or inappropriate time. So ectotopic expression, they mentioned ectotopic expression. That means that expression may be in inappropriate time or inappropriate cell. So expressed at incorrect time or inappropriate cells. Still we have two headings in basis of classification. They are molecular change and effects on translation. So we are going to discuss the two headings in point mutation elaborately or in detail. So please wait a minute. Let me teach you the types of point mutation. Before that, I would like to give you what is called molecular changes and what is called effects on translation. Molecular changes means the mutation altering the number of copies of small repeated nucleotide within a gene, and that condition is called molecular changes. Effects on translation means mutation affects a single base pair of a DNA, and that condition is called as point mutation. So point mutation can be referred as the changes which occurs in a single base pair of DNA, that is called point mutation. Point mutation in DNA can be categorized into two types. They are base pair substitution and base pair addition or deletion. Base pair substitution or base pair deletion or addition. So I told you earlier, molecular changes and effects on translation. So base pair substitution and base pair deletion or addition mutation leads to molecular changes. I will give you the definition of that molecular changes. Molecular changes means the mutation altering the number of copies of small repeated nucleotide sequence within a gene. So due to the base pair substitution or base pair addition or deletion, the nucleotide sequence repeated or deleted within a gene. So in base pair substitution, again we have two types. In base pair substitution we have two types. They are transition and transversion. Before that, I give you some general idea about the transcription and translation process. So here the first heading shows no mutation. So this is the DNA which contains the base pairs, that is the nucleotides 5' end and 3' end, 5' end pairs with 3' end and ends with 5' end, and it has nucleotide sequence, that is the base pairs. And you can find triplet codon. So you can find triple base pairs. They combine to form an amino acid. So there are 64 triplet codons which are responsible for the production of 20 amino acids. There are 64 triplet codons which are responsible for the production of 20 amino acids. So in the 20 amino acids we can differentiate into two types, essential and non-essential amino acids. So 10 amino acids are present in our body, already present in our body, and they are called as non-essential amino acids, and the remaining 10 we can get that remaining 10 amino acids through the diet, through the food consumption. That is why they are called as essential amino acids. So in total 64 triplet codons are there. This 64 triplet codons can give 20 amino acids. So each triplet codon can codes for an amino acid. Each triplet codon can codes for an amino acid. So this is the DNA molecule. This is the coding strand. This is the template strand. This is the coding strand. This is the template strand. That means this is the sense strand. This is the antisense strand. So the DNA undergoes a process called transcription. DNA undergoes a process called transcription. So during transcription, the DNA converted into mRNA. So in the DNA, this is the coding strand, isn't it? So here you can find the capital T. So it is an RNA. So the thymine is replaced by uracil RNA. So here you can find capital U. So capital U, G, then U because it contains capital T, then U, C, A, C, C, A, sorry, CCA, then U. So this coding strand transcribed into an mRNA and which contains the triplet codon UGU, UCA, CCA, and it codes for the protein. So this mRNA undergoes another process called translation. That translation process, so it carries some message, isn't it? mRNA means messenger RNA. So it carries some message. That messages are in unknown language. So we have to translate that unknown language into known language, and that process is called translation. So the mRNA undergoes a process called translation and it produces the protein, and its names UGU codes for threonine. UGU codes for threonine. Then UCA codes for serine. Then CCA can codes for glycine. CCA can codes for glycine. So this is the central dogma of molecular biology. This is the central dogma of molecular biology. So DNA gets transcribed into mRNA. That mRNA translated into a protein. That process is called central dogma of molecular biology. So keep this process in your mind, and that is the important process. With that process only our characters are expressed, because the DNA is the genetic material. So it can express their character when it undergoes the transcription process. That mRNA translated into a protein, and that protein expressed into a character in our body. So that is why it is called central dogma of molecular biology. So now I am going to teach you the base substitution process, that is the transition and transversion. What is called transition or transversion? Here you can find the same nucleotide sequence. The same nucleotide sequence. TGT, TCG. So here you can find capital A, here you can find G. So that means the nitrogenous bases are two types. They are purines and pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. In transition, the purine nitrogenous base is replaced by purine. The pyrimidine bases, nitrogenous bases are replaced by pyrimidine. So here the capital A is a purine base. It is replaced by another purine base G. Another purine base, nitrogenous base G. So that process is called transition mutation. Here you can find C. Here you can find C. So here you can find T. So T is a pyrimidine base. The pyrimidine base is replaced by another pyrimidine base C. So the transition mutation means the purine base is replaced by another purine base, or the pyrimidine nitrogenous base is replaced by another pyrimidine base, and that process is called transition mutation. Then the second one is transversion, and the second one is transversion. Here the purine base is replaced by pyrimidine base. The purine nitrogenous base is replaced by the nitrogenous base. Then the pyrimidine base's nitrogenous base is replaced by the purine base. So you can find capital T, G, T, T, C, T. So here you find a purine base. It is replaced by a pyrimidine base. So here capital A is a purine base. It is replaced by the T. T is a pyrimidine base. So a purine nitrogenous base is replaced by the pyrimidine nitrogenous base. Here you can find A. Here you can find A. So the capital T is a pyrimidine base. It is replaced by a purine base. So transversion mutation means a purine nitrogenous base is replaced by a pyrimidine base, or pyrimidine nitrogenous base is replaced by a purine base, and that process is called transversion mutation, and that process is called transversion mutation. Then base addition or deletion, that means addition of a base pair in a nucleotide or a deletion of a base pair in that nucleotide. So they are combinedly called as indel mutation. Indel mutation, that means insertion plus deletion. So they combinedly called as indel mutation. Indel mutation. So this substitution mutation and that indel mutation can affect the translation process. So I already mentioned the effects on translation. Now we are going to discuss the effects on translation due to substitution base pair or indel mutation. So here we have missense mutation, nonsense mutation, silent mutation, frame shift mutation. So these are all mutations are caused by that substitution mutation or indel mutation. So here the substitution mutation or indel mutation takes place. This mutation leads to that effects on translation. So please listen carefully. Now we are going to discuss effects on translation. The mutation which shows its effects on translation process. The first one is missense mutation. So here you can find capital T, capital G, T, capital T. Here one base pair is changed. So it leads to different amino acid protection. So here you can find threonine, serine, glycine. So due to the change in this base pair, a single base pair, it leads to production in different amino acids. So that amino acid is irrespective to that sequence of that amino acid. This amino acid is irrespective to the sequence of that amino acid, and that process is called missense mutation. So serine is the normal amino acid, so it has to produce the serine amino acid, but due to the missense mutation it produces a different amino acids. This amino acid is replaced by this different amino acids, and that process is called missense mutation. So this amino acids are irrelevant to this amino acid sequence. Then nonsense mutation. Nonsense mutation means there is no sense in that mutation. If there is no sense in mutation, because I already told you there are 64 triplet codons which are able to produce 20 amino acids. Among that 64 triplet codons, 3 triplet codons are not able to encode for an amino acids, and that triplet codons are called as termination codons. Here they give UAA, another one is UAG, another one is UGA. So these 3 codons are called as termination codons because they are not able to encode an amino acid. So due to nonsense mutation, they are producing an code called UAA. So this sensing codon, the sense strand or the coding strand undergoes a transcription process. So it is an mRNA, isn't it? So here it contains T, so U, so A and A. So UAA is a termination codon. So this termination codon stops that amino acid production. So that is why it is called nonsense mutation. So there is no sense in that mutation due to the production of termination codon. Then the silent mutation. So this mutation not expressed. I already told you, mutation happens in the genotype and it is expressed in the phenotype. So mutation takes place in the genotype, but it is not expressed in the phenotype. So that type of mutation is called as silent mutation, and that type of mutation is called as silent mutation. Here mutation takes place, but it produces the same amino acid. It produces the same amino acids, threonine, serine, glycine. So here also it produces threonine, serine, glycine. So mutation takes place, but it produces the same amino acids. So that mutation is not expressed. It is not expressed in the phenotype. That is called silent mutation. That is called silent mutation. And the final one is frame shift mutation. Final one is frame shift mutation. Here an addition of base pair takes place. Here the addition of base pair takes place. Due to the addition of base pair takes place, the reading of triplet codon changes. The reading of that frame changes totally, and it produces different amino acid sequence. It produces different amino acid sequence. Here it produces threonine, serine, glycine. Here it produces threonine, glutamic or glutamine, then arginines, due to the addition of base pair. Addition of base pair. Here deletion mutation. Here that base pair is deleted. Here that base pair is deleted. Due to the deletion, the frame shift, the reading frame could be changed totally. The reading, that is the coding strand, converted into mRNA. So that mRNA totally changed the amino acid sequence. So it is otherwise called as frame shift mutation because of the totally change in the amino acid sequence. So here you can find threonine, valine, valine. So that's all about the types of mutation. That's all about types of mutation. So still we have a topic to discuss. So please wait a minute. Let me teach you some of the mutant varieties which are made by induced mutation or artificial mutation. So in our book they have given two mutant varieties, namely Sarbadi sonera. The second one is Castor aruna. Castor aruna. So Sarbadi sonera is a mutant wheat variety. Is a mutant wheat variety which was developed from the Mexican variety. Which was developed from the Mexican wheat variety. So this mutant variety was developed by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan. He is called as father of Indian Green Revolution. So Dr. M.S. Swaminathan called as father of Indian Green Revolution. So he subjected that plant into gamma irradiation. Due to that gamma irradiation, the plant grains, that is the grain, wheat grain, converted into their color, changed into amber color. Due to gamma radiation, the wheat grain color changed into amber color. That means the dark brown in color. Then due to that mutation, it shows early maturity. It shows early maturity with high protein content. With high protein content. Protein content about 16.5%, I think. So due to that gamma irradiation, the wheat grain color changed into amber color, and it shows early maturity with high protein content. So these varieties are good for making chapati and bread. So these wheat varieties are good for making chapati and bread. Then the second one is Castor aruna. Castor aruna is a Ricinus communis plant. Ricinus communis plant, that means castor plant. In Tamil it is called the Amanakku plant. So In that Amanakku plant, we can get that oil called castor oil. In Tamil, it is called Velakannai. It is called Velakannai. So, Castor Aruna is a mutant variety. This Castor Aruna developed by the seeds are subjected to thermal neutron mutation. The seeds are undergone a process that seeds are treated by thermal neutron process. Seeds are treated by thermal neutron process. Due to the thermal neutron process, the seeds shows early maturity. The seeds shows early maturity. The seed shows early maturity. In normal seed, they shows the maturity at 270 days. In normal plant, it shows the maturity at 270 days. But after that mutation, the plant can shows the maturity at 120 days. 120 days. So due to that mutation, the plant shows early maturity and it shows high yielding. So these are the two mutant varieties which are given in our book. Then I am going to tell about another agent called co-mutagen. Co-mutagen. So co-mutagens are a compound which are not able to express their own. They are not able to express their own. It need a mutagen. So if a mutagen is present in an organism, this co-mutagen combine with that mutagen and enhance the rate of mutation. For example, ascorbic acid. Actually, ascorbic acid is an antioxidant. So these ascorbic acids are used in free radical stress process. But this ascorbic acid increase in their content in cell. The hydrogen peroxide comes and contact with the ascorbic acid and damages that cell. The ascorbic acid is an antioxidant, but it has to in the limit. It has to in optimum concentration in the cell. When it increase in their concentration, the hydrogen peroxide damage that cell and it leads to cancer. So here the ascorbic acid is a co-mutagen. It enhances that reaction, it enhances that mutation and it leads to cancer. Then the next co-mutagen is caffeine. So in the case of rheumatic arthritis patient, they are treated with a chemical called methotrexate. Methotrexate. So check that spelling, methotrexate. So the rheumatic arthritis patients are treated with the methotrexate. So it is a chemical which can treat the joint pain, who are affected by that rheumatism arthritis. So if that patient consume more amount of coffee, if that person drink more amount of coffee, that coffee contains this caffeine. So this caffeine makes the patient in a worse condition, due to this caffeine. It combined with this methotrexate and gives the worst effect to that patient. It gives swelling, inflammations, and it gives more pain, and the patient get slow relief, and they are not able to get the relief. Even they are not able to get relief due to the presence of caffeine. The caffeine combines with this methotrexate and gives worse effect to that patient who have consumed the coffee. So that's all about today's video. If you have any doubt, please clarify with me. Thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you.